Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
I can't wait to get all of the angry YouTube comments like, how dare you hate Shion? She's the best character, you have terrible taste. And it's like, whatever. The life I lived was really beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from the school, but in reality, it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without any friends to hang out with, I felt like I was hibernating. Yeah. It's not going to be good for your mental stability. I'd started to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think about now was Satoshi Hojo-kun's face. You met him for 5 minutes! I'd only met him briefly, but my encounter with him made a great impact on my new life. Okay, look, I've had my share of crushes before, but it didn't take 5 minutes. Like, it was a bit more than that. I felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. Really? I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way, though. Then, out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again.
Are?
I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. He looked like he was zoning out, or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me, even though I was right in front of him. I reminded myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him.
Hey!
Hey! That's a great voice there, Shion. I guess that's her Mion voice.
ミオンか。びっくりしたな。そんなに驚いてるようには見えないけどね。
Okay, it's gonna be stupid, like, wow, she does a good job in voicing Mion because they're literally voiced by the same voice actress.
さっきからいたんだけど、ずっと気づかなかった？そうなのかい？ごめん、気づかなかったよ。
He smiled self-derisively and shrugged. He looks depressed, like something was troubling him.
何か悩み事でも？聞いて楽になるものなら聞くし、力になれるものなら惜しまないけど。いや別に。私はサトシ君には一個借りがあるからね。それとも何？おじさんじゃ力になれないと思ってるわけ？
This old man, he played too.
見くびられたもんだな。
He played too on his Mountain Dew,
別にミオンの力を借りたら意味がないことだからさ。
Okay, that is true. She was forced to do a life of fairly isolation in the all-girls Catholic school. So maybe I get her immediately latching onto the first guy who gave her positive attention. Okay? I'm not saying it's unrealistic. I'm more just rolling my eyes like, really?
ほう。それは何？
It's not even a bad writing. It's not you, it's me.
私ごとき女の手は借りたくないってこ
Well, you
と？
call yourself a man, so. Thinking him unfair, I puffed up my cheeks in a sulky gesture. Satoshi-kun noticed that and smiled.
違うんだよミオン。僕に実力がなくて、ここ一番で打てなかったってだけのことなんだよ。
I'm assuming you're talking about your baseball swing and not the swing you're sitting on right now. I mentally rifled for all the information about Satoshi-kun that Sis had given me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to a junior baseball team. Well, yeah, junior varsity. So, that's why. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. I doubt he's very skilled, since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Given how down he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all that from what Sis told me, and carefully chose my words so as to sound like her.
なんだ、そんなことで落ち込んでるわけ？そんなことでって簡単に言ってくれるな、ミオンは。
I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than trying to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in this situation.
それなら落ち込むんじゃなくて、なお一層練習に打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適当ってもんでしょうが。
Yeah, the Hojos were looked down on by the Sonozakis, so that is probably going to play some aspect in this friendship/relationship.
こういう時は練習しかないよ、練習。 まあサトシ君に相手のピッチャーに小細工をしてまで勝ちたいという執念がある
That's
な
how
ら
you're gonna do it.
おじさんいろいろと協力できるかもしれませんけど
She's
ね
gonna be, you gotta take private baseball lessons with me. By the way, you're hot.
ずるしても何の意味もないよ。
Oh man. Oh my gosh, this pouting face there is incredible. Oh no. Oh, I messed him so bad. No. Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regrets out with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation were all visible in that gesture of his.
諦めがいいのか未練たらたらなのか。やっぱり男に生まれたからには一度くらいは晴れ舞台でスターになってみたいでしょう。
Satoshi-kun grinned and said yes.
もちろんヒーローを目指すのが花だけど、それが目的で野球をやってるわけじゃないよ。
He plays baseball because he wants to eventually one day have his own baseball card in bubblegum packs.
純粋にボールを投げたり打ったりするのが楽しいからやってるんだよ。ミオンでもそういうのを分
She's
か
gonna
る
be
よ
like,
ね。
no, you gotta be hyper competitive and do whatever it takes to win.
おじさんはそういうのはあんまわかんないかな。私は結果が一番であるならどんな種目でも大好きだし、一番になれないのに大好きなんてものはあんまりよくわかんないね。
ミオンらしい答えだな。
Having realized that I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park.
でもミオンは一番になるためにいろいろと努力をするからね。それは偉いと思うよ。
That sentence was just, Really? He smiled gently and stood up. Then he started stroking my head. All of a sudden, I totally wasn't prepared for that.
あ
Uh-oh. I thought this when he did this the last time, but how can he stroke somebody's head so easily? It felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in heaven. Satoshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless, like a girl being treated by the dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Satoshi-kun didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. He didn't seem to care. I hate him. Great. With my eyes still closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ
Bruh! He did that so long that the sun's going down?! Yeah, okay. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Even with your own boyfriend, you wouldn't want him petting your head? Yeah, it's not something everybody really wants.
おばさんに野球の帰りに買い物をしてくるよう頼まれてるから。
あ
How long was he stroking her head? Like an hour? My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed.
買い物なら私夕飯の買い
Oh,
物。
great.
あれミオンも買い
Mion
物す
doesn't
る
go
んだ。
shopping. She has servants to do that.
お手伝いさんが全部やってくれるって言ってなかったっけ？
Shoot. I messed up. In the main Sodazaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she's bragged to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたから、たまに買い物を私が引き受けてきたわけよ。お分かり？
ミオンにしては珍しいね。普段はそういうのめんどくさいって言って嫌がりそうなのに。
そういうのを余計なお世話って言います。頭撫でないで。
Satoshi-kun seems to be having fun with how embarrassed I'd get when he petted me. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't seem to really care about the details. He's probably glad to have some company. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kimi-Ishiki, it suddenly occurred to me. Why had I messed up? I'd known Mion would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurist mistake. Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No. I was probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. Of course that's why you did it. Obviously. Yeah, I can see why they have that kind of connection. They're doing a pretty good job writing this, honestly. It's very believable why they're getting along well. So I like that. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I found something intriguing in my boring life, and I didn't have to feel tense because he thought I was somebody else, etc., etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with him. I was just having fun. I could simply spend some fun time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much. Uh-oh. What are we about to do? We're getting the crazy music now.
ブロッコリーってどれだっけ？
This song was definitely from the first couple chapters. I remember this one.
緑だっけ？黄色だっけ？
Are you... You either know nothing about vegetables. Wait, I was about to say, or you're colorblind. No, but you still know which one is green and yellow, so you're not colorblind, so you're just an idiot. Okay, great.
サトシ君、そっちはカリフラワー。サトシ君ってひょっとしてキャベツとレタスの区
Bro,
別がつ
there
か
are
ない
times
タイ
even I
プ？
can't tell lettuce from cabbage if they're both the same color. No, he can tell this is the green one, this is the yellow one. He's just like, is broccoli green or yellow? Huh? Wow.
それはひどいよ。これでも精一杯
Also,
区別してるつもり。
Broccoli florets look very different from cauliflower florets. Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. You know, now that you mention it, this does sound somewhat familiar. Was there like a random scene in chapter like 3 where we're at the store and she's like, ah, I can never remember which one is broccoli. It's like, I think I probably had a similar reaction then too. Like, how are you this dumb? After thinking for a while, he reached out for the wrong one.
それ違う。サトシ君の買い物は見ててハラハラしますね。見てるこっちは楽しいけどさ。
This is like, Satoshi would be the kid where his like aunt's like, make sure you get some alcohol. And he's like, okay, rubbing alcohol. I thought that was a funny joke too, Shion. Yeah, green cabbage and like iceberg lettuce look basically the same.
参ったな。サトコと一緒の時にも迷うんだよ。ブロッコリーとカリフラワーはどっちが何色だっけ？
It doesn't matter. They both suck unless you stir fry it correctly.
あんたら兄弟2人揃って面白すぎです。
Sister told me that Satoshi was a flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a tough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. I can't get behind cauliflower. I've tried it. I don't like it. Broccoli, raw, I don't like either, but if it's stir-fried with the right sauce, it can be very good. He stumbles over everything he buys after all.
それは調理塩。胡椒とか混じってますから、卓上塩とは異な
Okay,
り
you
ま
must
す。
be talking about seasoned salt, because cooking salt is... I've never heard of that. Must be a Japanese thing.
え、そうなの？ほら、確か理科の実験で塩と胡椒を分離するのを確か。
Please don't separate it after buying it. Just buy the regular salt.
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す。こっちが普通のお塩ね。で、次は
Yes, Shirley. Broccoli in Chinese food is amazing. That's the best way to have it.
ミオンがいてくれると買い物が楽で助かるよ。
サトシ君、頭良さそうに見えて社会生活に支障ありすぎです。
Shion, why are you talking to yourself?
もう少しお勉強した方がいいと思います。
それはひどいな。あった。これかな。ひょいひょい。
だから それは
You
違
sound like you were in physical pain there, Shion.
う。何でもカゴに放り込む前に値段と何人分かをよく確認する。
My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and reliable. But the more I spoke with him, the more surprised I was at how clumsy and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. I think you're just obsessed. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? And get himself run over by a dump truck. Sweat drop.
1780円になります。
That was a voice.
スタンプカードはお持ちですか？
Do you?
はい、あります。
Uh-oh, do you, Shion? So,
あれ、どこかな。
あー、すみません。ちょっと見当たらないんで今度でいいです。
I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he fished through his wallet full of receipts.
ひどいな、ミオン。スタンプちゃんと押さないともったいないよ。
Uh-oh.
あんた夕暮れ時のお買い物ラッシュの時にのんびりと財布を漁ってスタンプカードなんか探さ
Oh, if you were holding up the line, then that's not great, but also, it's okay to, like, try to find your card.
後ろに大勢待ってるんだから。私たちの後ろで海線山線のおばさま方が早くしなさいざますって目でギロギロ睨んでたの気づいてなかったんですか？
That was a really long sentence in Japanese for a very simple sentence in English. Also, yeah, come on, Satoshi, it's Trader Joe's. You've got to get out of there and free up the parking spot, okay?
あのね、そういう時はレジ前に並んでる時からあらかじめ用意しておくの。
Yeah, you absolutely should get your payment stuff out before you get to the end of the line.
いいことを聞いたよ。
ちなみにここでのことだけじゃないですからね。バスに乗る時もそう。サトシ君、バスを降りようとして料金を入れる時、その時になって初めてお財布を開けて小銭をちまちま
Shion,
と
please
探
stop roasting
し
this
て後ろ
poor
の人を
boy.
詰まらせて待たせてるでしょ。
みんな僕を追い抜いて勝手に料金を入れてるかな。
はあ、それはね、すっごーく周りに迷惑をかけているの
You
で
can
す。
teach him social awareness, that's fine.
そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー。
True.
わかりました？
That's
わかったよ。
that's assuming you know how much the fare is before you get up to the front.
今日のミオンは怖いな。
Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. Ha, I couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine as he was, when he had a busybody like me around him. But I couldn't stop worrying whether he was going to be able to function in society without someone like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put a pack of tofu at the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put a milk carton instead.
はい、これで OK。これで台所で買い物袋を広げてお母さんに仰天されなくて済みま
Unless
す
his
から
aunt
ね。
is like, no, you always put the tofu at the bottom of the bag, idiot!
ありがとう。助かったよ。僕はどうも買い物が苦手でさ。
買い物だけ正直におっしゃい。
Do we have a different song here? Oh, yeah, this is a very different song. The first time it differed.
嘘嘘冗談。
I had realized a few things when I was spending time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping. He's also chronically clumsy. He's bad at life. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant, when he stepped into the quarrel with the punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weaknesses. So, he must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and stepped in. That was really admirable of him.
えらいえらい。サトシ君は頑張ったよ。いい子いい子。
Okay, really? That is very patronizing.
なんだよ。急に人の頭を撫でないでくれよ。
サトシ君が一人でお買い物ができましたでしょう。なでなでなで。
ミオン、僕のことすっごいバカにしてるだろ。
してないよ。お家一人で帰れるかな？
Except Keiichi's kind of insane, although maybe Satoshi's insane too.
道わかる？
So I can't say if I prefer Keiichi or Satoshi more.
やっぱりバカにしてる。
Satoshi-kun's sulky face flushed red. Aw, he's just too cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of a billboard in the corner of my eye. Piano lessons, call redacted. Abacus class. Actually, yeah, no, there is legitimate abacus classes, and the kids who like do them become insane at mathematics. Where like they could use an invisible abacus, like not have an abacus, but basically mimic the finger presses and do ridiculously complex math in seconds. It's actually nuts. Junior baseball team members wanted. It was a posting for the team Satoshi-kun belonged to. Oh no, Shion, don't you try signing up for that just to spend more time with him. It showed the day, time, and place of their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be the same when playing baseball. Satoshi-kun realized I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked away.
今サトシ君は思った。頼むからミオン、野球やってるとこまで来ないでくれよ。図星？
もう
そのムーってのはつまり
I
何さ？
don't speak that language.
図星ってことでしょ。
Satoshi-kun became quiet after mumbling something. It seemed like he couldn't say anything back since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you are just too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might have just been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that.
じゃあね、サトシ君。暗くなりかけてるから気をつけて帰ってね。
ミオンは
Oh yeah,
一
he's
緒に
gonna
帰
be
らない
like,
のか
I'm sorry, you have to go to Shinamizawa too, right?
ひなみ沢。
私はもうちょっと寄るとこありますんで。気にしないで先に帰ってください。
僕の買い物を手伝ってもらったんだから
Oh, no.
付き合うよ。
He's gonna be like, well, you help me, so I'll make sure you get walked home.
今度は僕が手伝う。
あはは大丈夫大丈夫。っていうか、サトシ君が何を手伝うおつもりで？人の手伝いする前に自分が手伝われなくて買い物できるようになっといてくださいな。
Satoshi just seems like he's nicer, calmer, and not as insane. I do like that. But I also like Keiichi's voice a little bit more.
もう今日のミオンはひときわ意地悪かな。
He seemed to have some pride, at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl. But in contrast, I felt very satisfied. Oh, great! Shion, you're like proudly making yourself a very unlikable character right now. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
あ、でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。本当に助かったから。
While wearing a bright smile, Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head again. How many people do you do this to? Like, it's one thing to do it to your little sister. It's another thing to do it to, like, I guess your friends. But, like, if you do this to the teacher or just, like, random people, like, it's pretty weird. But hey, you never know. He is supposed to be good friends with Mion, so maybe, I don't know. I feel... No, Mion did mention he just has a habit of doing this. So this seemed to imply he does this with a lot of people. Or maybe he's just like, oh, hey, Mion. And she's like, this is just a weird thing he does for me. Oh, I can't reject him. He keeps doing it because he's realized I won't resist. Oh.
じゃあね、ミオン。暗くならないうちに用事を済ませてね。また明日学校で。
Keiichi would drag you around to make you have fun, and Satoshi would sit with you and pout with you. You know, it can be good to have friends that can do both. Or one friend to do one and one friend to do another. Sometimes you need someone to get you off your butt and go out and have fun. And sometimes you just need someone who's willing to sit with you and be like, man, you know, I'm here for you.
あ、うん。また明日学校でね。
I thought he was going to be like, it's Saturday tomorrow. In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. Oh no! Is this why Shio just is completely insane in the present time? Because she's like, cannot get over that Satoshi is gone? I wanted to know more about him. I couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's. I could choose how to live my life. Whatever, it wasn't that complicated. I just wanted it to tease him more. I wanted him to stroke my head more. And, whatever. I already knew the schedule for this baseball team. Shion, don't stalk the baseball team. Because then you're going to meet Coach, and Coach is definitely going to creep on you. New tips unlocked. A crumpled diary. Achievement unlocked. A hopeless pair went shopping with a nice young man. And the picture is a flippin' piece of broccoli. Isn't that great? Uh-oh. We're about to get dark again. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. How come you didn't put the tofu on the bottom of the bag, you idiot? So today, it was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway. It didn't matter. She went on her past midnight again. Jeez. She's just like, you get home at 7 o'clock and she just screams for 5 hours and then just collapses of exhaustion, then wakes up and screams some more. She sounds terrible. The urge to sleep was pounding the back of my head. Once Satoko had been able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid out our futons.
ほら、サトコ。布団が敷けたよ。布団に入りな。
Mion, can you give me his dead skin? It's for science vibes. Yes! I absolutely believe this is going to escalate to her doing... Well, she's already doing kind of creepy things with being like, I gotta know his baseball schedule. I gotta meet him again. I gotta meet him again. And I guarantee you she's gonna try to get, like, a lock of his hair or something. Or, like, eventually just, like, camp his place. Be like, I love you. I love you. Why don't you love me? Okay, overly attached girlfriend. Innocent love, I sure hope nothing goes wrong. Of course not. Nothing goes wrong in Higurashi when they cry. It's a wholesome slice of life visual novel. Satoko crawled in like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wished I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. I set the timer. Right, I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if everything isn't done the way she wants. Did she just yell at you for 5 hours about towels not being stacked up? Does she not realize that it, like, she could have spent a fraction of that just getting the towels stacked? No, she wants to be angry, let's be frank. Helga from Hey Arnold. Haven't seen Hey Arnold. Oh, and there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we even have an apron in this house? Wait, he works at the grocery store? I'd never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I didn't want to screw it up. Oh! Was it Mion or Shion that helped him get the job? In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious of Satoko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. No, it's not. Your aunt sucks. No wonder he's so ditzy because he's got a mess at home. And he's probably sleep deprived, too. Yeah, this poor kid. Highly recommend Hey Arnold. It's a really good show, not just for kids, but adults, too. I've heard that. I mean, I really like Arthur, and I've heard favorable comparisons between those two shows, so who knows? All right, let's continue.